My greatest fear is to get to the end of my life and be like, she wasted her suffering. Like, I want to like milk it. I want to use my suffering and learning and utilize it and help many. Like, so that's what drives me.
Well, hey, everybody, it's Robert Barber from the ROYI Academy with another installment of our vlog series where we love to highlight these superstars that are out there making an impact in individual people. At the ROYI Academy, which stands for Return on You Investment, our mission is to make sure that you are investing in you each and every day. And how you do that is you find the experts that have studied, that have trained, that have helped other people, that have the skills for you. They put the guardrails in place to guide you to where you need to be the best version of you. And I'm here today, and I'm just beyond excited that she even accepted the invitation to be here.
Stop it.
But I'm here with the wonderful Dr. Erin. And she is not only a psychologist, but she is also an incredible entrepreneur business coach. And she has helped, I can't even count how many people probably, but she has been I know out there getting this done and helping people and making an impact in the world that have had probably ripples that we'll never ever know about. And she's also an incredibly faith-based person. And I'm super excited to have you here today, Dr. Erin. Thanks for being here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. I'm so amped to be here. And I'm singing like Oprah. I don't even know why.
That's exactly right. So we always like to start off our episodes with getting to know our guests. And the best way to do that is everybody is, whether you believe it or not, you are a brand. And your brand has a story that has created your brand. And so maybe, Dr. Erin, you can start out by letting us know a little bit about your story and where you're at. And I'm excited to hear this.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's so beautiful. I believe that too. And I believe that everyone has been called to such a time as this. And what I mean by that is usually you find your mission on the planet by the need that you feel needs to be filled. And that need usually is birthed from your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so, I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I mean, I was riddled with fear most of my life, fear of either I wasn't good enough or I was too much. And the solution I found for that was pleasing, proving, perfecting, and performing my way to my worth on the planet. And that kind of worked for a while. I got all the degrees. I just went straight through college, bachelor's, master's, PhD, piled higher and deeper, right? I mean, I got straight A's. I was the fastest person to ever go through the program. I mean, graduate student of the year. And
overachiever with an O. Yeah.
What?
Overachiever with a huge O.
I came out an overachiever. Okay. And it worked until it didn't work. So I was 31. I started to have to join the real world. And I think I knew the real world was overrated or that I wasn't equipped to handle it because I was 31 and I was like, okay, I'll finally get a job and raise a family. And it just, my perfectionism had a field day with that. And it caused a lot of suffering in my life. And I had a hole in my soul and I tried to fill it with performing, pleasing, perfecting, and proving. And really perfectionism is just a shield for, fear. And it had its way with me. I hit my emotional rock bottom in my life. I, in 1 year flat, became addicted to alcohol. And that was the beginning of kind of a rebirth of current me, and I used to be clinically depressed. I used to have I was not this person. I am known now to have energy and I'm a light worker and I have vitality and I'm obsessed with my life and I love my life, but it took a lot of work to get here. And in the process of that, I realized my purpose on the planet. But I
Mhm.
always knew I was going to be a psychologist. I
Yeah.
have been a psychologist. I was given that gift. I just knew I was going to be one. I love helping human beings and
Right.
suffering in their lives. And loved being a psychologist for 15 years. But with healthcare reform, my hourly rate would just go down every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So my hourly rate was going down. The hours I'd have to work would go up. I
Yep.
was adding in children,
Yep.
3 children. It was like, this is not going in the right
Right.
direction, and it
Yeah.
did me in. And so I started a side hustle actually in network marketing. And for years, I could not make anything happen in my network marketing business.
Hmm.
But they put me on stage, and my energy, I was a trainer, and I realized that I had
Manipulative.
this impact
Yeah.
on people.
Right.
So I'm so grateful for that, because where it led me in my suffering of not being able to make anything happen, it led me to coaching. I never really knew about the coaching world. I knew about personal development, but I really
Mhm.
didn't know about coaching.
Exactly. Same thing.
Good. So I'm like, okay, you all are having success. What are you doing? What the heck am I doing wrong? Why is this not happening for me? Why am I not good enough? Crying myself to sleep every month end. Why is this not happening for me? And led me to coaching. And I had some great coaches and some not so great coaches. And I realized I know how to coach people. I'm a psychologist. And like the rest is history. And God put a dream on my heart 2.5 years ago to be a speaker in front of thousands of people. I mean, I had never done any of that. To be a coach, to write a book. And in the last 2.5 years, I like to say I've just partnered with him. I've joined the family business, so to speak, and
Love that.
out the best of my
I
ability, right?
love
To like,
that.
right? And God has blessed my business so big. But I am, of course, as a psychologist, I believe, really gifted with the ability to help people mind their own business, is what I call it. And there's this saying that, I don't know if you've ever heard this, Robert, but businesses are won or lost in the 6 inches between your ears.
Yep. It's the truth.
It's the truth. I mean, it's just the truth. And our brains can be like this wonderful, our best business partner, or they can be a really dangerous neighborhood to hang out in. And
Yeah.
I help people train their brain for unstoppable success.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I actually call it, and this is part of a project that I'm working on right now. Is you are the CEO of your life, right? So
yes,
let's take this into the business, maybe into a business kind of paradigm. Is listen, you are the one who sets the mission. You're the one who sets the vision. You are the one who starts the strategy. Guess what? The buck stops with you, not anybody else. You also are the person who hires the people in your life. You're also the person who fires the people in your life. You're the person that is responsible for your life. It starts with you. And until you understand you are a CEO for your life, you cannot then take the next step. And until you take that ownership upon yourself, then you can't make that movement. And it's exactly what you're talking about. It does start here. This is where it starts. Period.
it is. Thank you for that. I totally agree. And at one point, I polled all of the clients that had worked with me, and people that want to work with me. And I said, what's your number one obstacle in being an entrepreneur?
Mm,
And literally 95% of the answers was one word: me. The obstacle is me. The obstacle is
of
you.
course. Of course.
So that's what we're doing. We're just dealing with that, and removing those obstacles with the technology of psychology. This is not, we can do better than just stop thinking that. Don't do that. Just think positive. We can do better than that.
Okay.
And that's what I geek out over. And I help individuals and sales teams and corporations get in the top 1 to 3% and be high performers, which means they're succeeding, but they're also happy, joyous, and free. They have vitality. They're not sacrificing the things that matter to them the most. That's the definition of high performance. They're not forgetting their children's first name on the way to the top. They're not accidentally gaining 48 pounds because they're not to the vehicle. And so I believe and take a stand that you can have it all. You just need to know where to begin with your mission, and then we're going to help you get there.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. And I told you she was going to be good. I told you. I told you from the beginning.
Smart.
Uh, wow, it's a great inspirational story, and I think it's one again. What I love about it is that it's a story that has risk in it, and I think that's one of the
Oh,
things that we run away from so much. And I was just in that a meeting that I was telling you about, and one of that organization's values is I'd much rather fail than not take the risk or try, right?
yes.
So,
So you and we have followed Brendan Burchard, the #1 high performance coach in the world,
yeah,
and I had the opportunity to meet him and be mentored by him as well. But at a networking event, I knew that if I had a question ready, that I would run right up to him, right? So of course I did, and of course I got right in front of him,
so
And
of course you did. Yeah,
of course I did. I mean, I was like,
I know.
that's so. I said, Brendan, you've shared so many of your challenges, on stage with us and such, but can you share with us some of your fears? And he said, oh my goodness, Dr. Aaron, I don't have enough time to share all those with you, but I believe when your love for learning is greater than your fear of failing, anything is possible. And I think you and I probably subscribe to that there is no failure. Honey, that's kind of loud. I asked my teenage daughters not to come down,
I
but they
know.
always do. But it's okay.
I did the same thing. I did the
I
same
know, but there is no failure if there's learning.
thing. Hmm. It's
My
exactly.
greatest fear is to get to the end of my life and be like, she wasted her suffering. Like, I want to milk it. I want to use my suffering
Yep.
and learning and utilize it and help many.
Yeah.
So that's what drives me.
Yeah. Same with me. It's in I had this huge fear of regret, and
Yes.
that's where it comes from for me. Is I've gone through this period of these last 12 years, and I've hit this comfort level like we were talking about, and I when I start thinking about, okay, am I going to regret this next 20 years? Okay, I only get the next 20 or so years, or I only get this next moment, for that
Right.
matter. It could
So
all.
there's this scientific study that asked all the people on their deathbeds, like, what were your biggest regrets? And it's never what they did. It's always what they didn't do.
Yeah, it's the truth. There
So,
it is. So there it is. I mean, we can
I
just
love what
wrap
you
this
said.
whole thing up, and that's it. And we just probably, just help somebody with that one, because that was
I
amazing.
know, right?
That
I
was
want to
amazing.
talk about the word risk because you
Okay.
said your story involves risk. Because I came across this definition yesterday of entrepreneur is someone who creates something from nothing at extreme levels of risk. I was like, oh, good God, that sounds
Yeah.
about like the challenge I sign up for. But
Yeah.
I think being a human is risky. I think the human experience can be pretty daunting. It ain't for sissies. I mean, it's difficult
Yeah.
and beautiful at
It's
the same time.
it's the truth. It's funny you talk about quotes, because I've been running with this quote this week, which is, the only people who like change are wet babies. And
Right? It's like the comment, what we can all count on, that change is going to be a little painful.
exactly.
Growing,
And
growing pain.
so with change comes, you have to take some risks. And I love that this is kind of where this whole conversation is beginning to focus on, because this has really been one of the only vlogs that we've really talked a whole lot about risk.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think, I mean, life is full of risk, and you've measured that. You've talked to people. You've had clients that have, probably taken tremendous risks and failures and grown, and entrepreneurs who've done that. And so you've seen the gamut of that. And so, if someone's watching today and they're filled with fear, what would be some of the, I don't want to use the word advice, because advice stinks. What would be some of the techniques or lessons, or maybe some wisdom that you would throw out there to say, okay, here's how you may want to look at risk or fear, or how do you do it, for that matter?
I'm so thankful for this question, because this is the solution. Okay,
Mhm.
so what we know from psychology, from understanding humans and our brains, is the more we can't have something, the more it sticks around, the more it gets bigger, right? And I think we've missed the boat on how to deal with fear. And if I can teach people how to deal with fear, then my life mission is accomplished, because that's my
Mm.
mission on the planet, to help people break through their fears and step into their abundant life. Um, And so this is how we're going to deal with fear.
Okay.
I call it bless and release. But
Mhm.
one, we're going to be like, huh. So you're going to have like a relationship with fear. So like it's sitting right here. You're like, huh, I wonder why it makes perfect sense that you just showed up. Okay, so that's the first. So notice it's like, huh. And you're either going to get answer of, oh, I know exactly why. I'm scared to go and speak because my sister told me I was a terrible speaker my whole entire life. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Or you know, I'm at every new juncture, there's a thing that is created. It's called resistance. So the brain's job is to keep us safe, to keep things orderly, and to keep us alive.
Right.
So we're like, huh, I wonder why you just showed up. Oh, of course, because I'm getting ready to do this really awesome big thing in my life that I've never done. Oh, okay. Now, so why does it make perfect sense you're showing up? What you do there by saying, why does it make perfect sense you're showing up? Is you take away the judgment and the I can't have you and I can't tolerate you. And when you do that, that's called cognitive fusion. When you get stuck with your thoughts, it makes suffering happen.
Okay.
So if you can get the observer stance, that's 90% of the battle.
Wow.
So it's almost like you're like a newscaster. I just grabbed a pen and you're like, oh, she's having the thought that she's going to be a terrible storyteller. Of course she has that thought because she learned that her whole life, right?
Right.
Oh,
No.
right. Like, oh, she's getting ready to go speak in front of 100 people. Wow. Now she's having the thought that that's pretty scary. Right?
Love that.
Right? So if you can observe it, okay, then you can say, thank you. This is blessed. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Or thank you for showing up. Or I'm not sure why you're showing up or where you came from, but I know I learned you somewhere. But thank you for trying to protect me.
Yeah.
Then you move into the power of the pivot, is what I call it.
Sure.
Things are different now. I am a good storyteller. I've hired a speaking coach. People love me when I speak. It's my mission to speak. My sister's not in the audience, she's not here.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go speak. And fear, you want to come on stage with me? Come on, let's go. And you got to invite it with you.
Wow.
And guess what happens? Fear takes the back seat.
Yeah.
It does not necessarily go away, but you get to be in the driver's seat of your life.
Yep.
And from time to time, it's going to be like, hey, pull over, like abort. And you're like, no, I got to keep going because the mission requires it. But I know you're trying to keep me safe. So it's like you have this relationship with fear where you tell it what to do instead of fear telling you what to do.
What I love about that is you actually give it respect.
You do.
You're like, okay, I respect you. I respect you for trying to help take care of me. And thank you for that. But it's not the same anymore. And so I'm going to go do this thing. And so come along with me. You respect it. It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, it's so good to hear you talk about it. Like, it's so lovely.
I just, I love it. I love every bit of that, and so anyone who ever heard my story is, I've gone through the anxiety points in my life where, I've actually sought professional help a few times for that process. But those valley moments were moments that were so full of growth and so and I never thought about it the way that you thought that you brought to, but the people that I did work with at the time, we basically did that. We said, okay, really, what are you afraid of? What is causing this to have control over you? And then what can we do to pivot, like you said? But the part that I never really got is I never gave the fear respect and said, come along with me because you know what, you're there and you're trying to help me. And I get that. And so as soon as I do that, I've taken away all the power from it and put it back into me. And I'm going to do this. And so I love everything you just said. It's so good.
I'm so glad.
So good. Anyway, again, guys, I told you she's awesome. I knew this was going to be a great one. I knew this was going to be awesome.
I knew it was going to be amazing. I knew when you asked, like, it's just going to be so fun to be with you.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, listen, we've gotten a chance to get to know Dr. Erin, and actually, we've basically had an incredible session, whether you believe it or not. I'm going to go back and replay this probably like 10 times just because it's so good. But we always like to wrap up our episodes with 3 points of wisdom. We always liked our guests to say, if someone was to watch this 20 years from now, or 10 years from now, or even watch it tomorrow, what's maybe 3 takeaways or 3 points of wisdom that's in their heart today that they feel like they want to share. So Dr. Aaron, what are your 3 points of wisdom that you would love to share with the audience today, and whether that be 20 years from now?
Whew. All right, here we go. 3. I love it. The first one is that your job, I believe, on the planet, first and foremost, is to have compassion on yourself. And one of the greatest ways I like to remind people to do that is to repeat this saying to themselves: "Oh, how human of me. Oh, how human of me."
Writing that
And
down. Writing that down.
the second is adopt a sense of curiosity and wonder about your life. If that you're almost like in this playground, and you're like, I wonder where I'll play next. I wonder who I'll play with, and I wonder why this suffering is happening, and I wonder what I'm going to learn, and I wonder who I'm going to meet today, and I wonder how wonderful that's going to be when I reach my goals. And your brain is a goal achieving machine, and so
well, I love how you talk on your website about designing your life. I mean, you really are. I love it.
Like, I wonder how good this is going to feel. I wonder what I can co-create with my higher power today. Like, I wonder how fast it can go. I wonder, right? So we create a sense, have a curiosity and a sense of wondering. And Harvard Business Review has said it's the number one factor of successful people. So if you want to get, nutty about the research, just curiosity and wonder will help you achieve your dreams as well. Okay. But and the third is that I guess I would put it this way, that bliss is your birthright, and any other thought besides that is just bad learning. So I like to view it like this, Robert. So imagine we were like in the baby nursery, and we saw all the brand new babies, and there was like tons of them. We would never go up to one of them and say, you get like 60% of the goodness, and you get like 95, or no, you shouldn't ever, you don't deserve to go see Tahiti, and you don't deserve to make money. Like, we would never do that. And that helps ground me to realize that if I'm having any thought like that, that's just faulty learning, and it's just a lie. Right. And so if bliss is our birthright, meaning like abundance is ours, anything that's not that is just faulty learning. And so if we apply that curiosity and wonder to that, I wonder how bliss is my birthright. I mean, think how fun life would be. So that's what I would say.
Wow, those are
this morning.
I'm melting and trying to unpack those 3 at this point in time, because you just wow. Okay, fire hose. Wow, those are 3 huge ones that, I've really honestly, have never heard of. How human of me. That's so good. Curiosity, absolutely. I'm a big believer in that. And bliss is our birthright. Holy smokes. That is, man, that could be volume. That could be volumes for people.
There's a book for that, Robert. It's called Mind Your Own Business.
Way to get it in there. There you go. I love it. I love that. That's awesome. Well, listen, Dr. Aaron, thank you again for imparting, so much wisdom, and just your empathy and your compassion and your energy. It just flows through. And if anyone wants to know how to connect with Dr. Aaron, either it's all going to be up above, or it's all going to be down below. Feel free to connect with her. Reach out for her, go to her website, learn more about her. She's got tons of publications and information that's out there. And I'm sure she would love to connect with you. But Dr. Aaron, thank you again for spending just this little bit of time with us, because I know someone's life is going to be impacted today because of this. And you should be patted on the back for that. I mean, I know, we're not supposed to be prideful, and we should be humble, and, we should really give all the glory to our Father. But you've done your part today, and it's pretty friggin' amazing. So.
Oh my goodness. I received that. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
Well, thank you, friend. We always like to end our episodes, and everything that I do, I always like to end it with this, which is that I truly believe that every day someone needs to hear that they are loved, because I believe love is the greatest word. It's the greatest weapon. It is the greatest concept. Love is a verb. It is meant to be lived out. So if you have not heard that you are loved today, you need to hear it now. You are loved. So go out and have a great day. Be the best version that you can be. And Dr. Aaron, thank you again for blessing us with your time.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys. We'll talk to you.